going on, guys? How y'all doing? Happy Sunday. Hope you guys had a phenomenal week. But with it being Sunday, that means reset day. That means we got to go ahead and prepare for the coming week. We got to set ourselves up for this next week of prep, which I'm excited. This first week went by really good. I'm feeling great. Slight adjustments are starting to be made here and there and all that good stuff. But again, as I mentioned in a previous video, these adjustments are what make us who we are. They help us learn and discover more and more about ourselves, and how to really tune into that end goal. You know what I'm saying? Even though there's not a full end goal when it comes to bodybuilding and fitness and weightlifting, it's still one of those things that you learn more and more as you go through more and more. So. But today I want to go ahead and talk about my Sunday reset and my meal preps and how I set myself up, the supplements that I take and all that good stuff to make sure that we're on track, we're doing the right thing, keeping our bodies nice and healthy and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and hop into it. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is going to be my meals. So I have everything set up in these containers right over here. Me personally, I like to keep it as simple as possible because that is what just works for me. The more, especially on a prep, the more simple your setup is, the less you have to think. That means the less you have to stress. So biggest thing for me is, again, not stressing. I used to over stress a lot about everything and anything, any kind of minute details, whatever. But if you're able to simplify to the max extent of what you're trying to do within your meals, it makes things so much more easy. So I have my meals split up into my proteins and my carbs. And then of course I also have my veggies on the side. I pack these little baggies and all that. I got some carrots in here, some tomatoes, some celery, all the vital things, all the vital vitamins that we need, all that good stuff. But to break down the meals, right now what I am doing is chicken breast and white rice. For chicken breast, pretty much per day, per meal, I'm doing 220 grams of chicken breast, and I'm doing I'm doing 150 grams of white rice. So to total that out for the day, in calories for protein, that's going to be about 630 calories of protein. And then for white rice, that's going to be about 369 calories that come from carbs. And the total fats that kind of add up, from everything all together is about 19 calories of fats. But, and that's okay because we still need the fats. But what I'm trying to do is keep my fats below, 60 grams a day. I'm actually, at 50 this week. So that's pretty much perfect. But out of everything for the day, out of chicken and rice, it's going to be 999 calories just for that. Of course, this isn't the only thing I'm eating. Throughout the day, I have my rice cakes. I have non-fat Greek yogurt. They're like these little I've actually got to go buy some more later, but they're like these Okios or Oikis from Costco. 15 grams of protein, 0 grams of carbs, and I think like 5 grams of fat. So very macro friendly, and they taste delicious, which is the best part. It's literally like a little treat. And I like to eat that in between my meals here and there. So the way I like to structure it is in the mornings, when I have my breakfast, after I do my fasted cardio, I'll have a cup of oatmeal. I'll throw my protein powder in there, a few blueberries, 2 rice cakes with non-fat or zero fat almond butter. Again, put some taste on there. And especially being 11 weeks out, I can kind of play around with what I eat a little bit more, but still keeping it pretty strict and very low calorie, if it's additional things that I'm adding to my foods. But I'm doing my very best to do that. So, like I said, 1 scoop or 1 cup of oatmeal, throw my protein powder in there, blueberries, black coffee, rice cakes with the almond butter, and that is pretty much my breakfast with 2 hard-boiled eggs. So very simple, very simple. Then I go ahead and have my little snack throughout the day. I'll have a shake, and then I'll go ahead and do that yogurt that I was talking about. Then it's going to be my lunch, and it's going to be one of these. And then obviously for dinner, it's also going to be one of these. But before lunch and dinner, because I lift after I eat. So I do need to have that good fuel source. I still make sure to eat in between my breakfast, or I'm sorry, my lunch and dinner. So then again, I'll throw in, have a banana, have some carbs and all that in there. Especially getting closer and closer to my lift, I want to make sure that I have plenty of fuel in my body that come from those carbs, especially because the pre-workout that I take is non-stim. I've been trying to get away from caffeine recently because ever since I was in the Marine Corps, I'd have like 4 energy drinks a day. My caffeine tolerance was through the roof. And then I was like, you know what? I do not want to have a heart attack. So I'm going to minimize the amount of things that can make that happen and try to just prevent, that from happening. So that's the biggest thing. But that's pretty much the breakdown for my meals. The next thing that I want to talk about is supplements. So the vital things that we need. Fish oils. Fish oils are great for anti-inflammatory, to avoid inflammation. Of course, they're good for heart health and to lower cortisol. And who likes to be stressed? When our cortisol levels rise, obviously that comes from stress. We need to be able to manage that, and especially being on prep, you're going to get stressed out. Those cortisol levels are going to rise. You're going to bloat. You're not going to feel your best. You're going to feel sluggish. So fish oils are going to help with that. Next thing I like to take is milk thistle, liver support. Our liver is a detox center for our body, and it's pretty much a filter. Everything that we, all the nutrients that goes into our body, the liver filters it. So if you have a healthy liver, that is going to be key for that filtration, getting all that extra stuff out of there that we don't need. So our body absorbs the things that we need. So that's the next thing. So magnesium is the next one that I'm going to do. Heart health, that's going to be extremely crucial. We are pushing our bodies constantly on a daily basis. High stress, high volume training, whatever we're doing, a lot of cardio, especially once the calories deplete, this is going to help a whole lot. It's going to help us maintain those levels. It's going to help balance our hormones as well. So not necessarily affect them as much, but it's going to help us be able to recover much better. Our sleep is going to be much better, and sleep is going to be crucial, especially during prep. We're going to need to be recovering, and quick, because we're training hard. We're trying to do something. We're dropping our calories, consistently as we get closer and closer to show. So that's going to be very important for us to be able to take. Rest and recovery is crucial. Our heart health as well, magnesium, which that helps with as well. It's going to help a whole lot. So that is that. And then the next thing that I'm going to talk about is iron. So our energy levels. A lot of the times we are drained. Again, the less we eat, or the lower we drop in calories, we're going to start feeling more and more tired. And it's going to happen. That's okay. That's fine. But at the same time, we don't want to feel that way. So our iron is going to help us maintain those good energy levels, of course, with the nutrients that we're putting into our body. It's going to be very, very good for our immune system health. So, trying to avoid getting sick. Of course, we're doing all the other precautionary things that we need to be doing to avoid getting sick, but this is also going to help that. And another big thing with iron is it's going to allow for better brain function. Again, we're going to be tired. We're going to have a lot of brain fog. We're going to have things that, just don't feel like they're going our way. So iron is going to help with that tremendously. So that is pretty much the breakdown of the supplements that I take. Of course, I take my creatine, I take my glutamine, I have my, protein powder to get those extra calories of protein in. And yeah, so this is just the breakdown, very simple little video on that. And that is pretty much it. But the first week of prep is complete. I'm feeling great, feeling on top of the world. I'm locked in. I'm ready to go. West Coast Classic, Riverside, California, June 28th. I'm very, very excited for this Classic Physique competition. I think I could bring my best package this year, continue improving, continue doing better, get feedback, move forward, move on to the next. And it's a never-ending cycle. It's a never-ending journey, which I love a whole lot. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys would like to see more of. Let me know what I can improve on. Because again, this is still a new channel. This is still something that I am trying to develop in and learn more of and all that good stuff. So anything helps. All your guys' feedback is great feedback. And I will see you guys soon. Happy Sunday.